Hello everybody, this is Jeremy Hartley and welcome to the first video in the MK1 Mortal Kombat 1 Accessibility Series tutorial for the Xbox Series X. And this video is going to be very short. You know how when you read certain books and they talk about the author? Well, that's what this video is hopefully going to be getting across here. So as I said, my name is Jeremy Hartley, and I don't have a tremendous social media presence, and that's kind of by choice, but it's you may not know who I am, but I have been around for quite some time doing a variety of things, and this video series is hopefully going to be the latest in a long series of tutorial video series that I'm going to be doing. But a little bit of background about who I am. I started out actually as a touring musician on the West Coast around the California, Nevada area, and doing that for a great chunk of my beginning life. Then later on, I owned and operated my own internet service company, helping people do their streaming audio and video events back in the 90s when you could actually be a local internet service provider company. Those days are now long gone, but back then you could do that. Then later I got into accessibility and worked as a technology trainer for a number of years, teaching people how to use various assistive technologies like JAWS for Windows and NVDA and various Braille note takers and Braille embossers and that kind of thing. I will mention now that I am totally blind and have been so my entire life. Almost forgot to mention that. And then later on, I got involved with the web accessibility portion of accessibility. Worked for a company for roughly 7 years. And then after a little bit of downtime where I reinvented myself after a divorce and some other things, personal things that happened to me, I am now kind of, as I say, back in the saddle. I'm working for a company now called TPGI, which is a Vespero brand company. And if you know anything about accessibility or assistive technology at all, you know that Vespero is the company that has the companies that make assistive technology. So JAWS for Windows, screen reader, as well as other note takers, by Freedom Scientific. So Freedom Scientific is a part of the Vespero brand. Companies like Optelec and my company that I work for, TPGI. And I work in the user experience department, typically JAWS scripting. So I do that full time. I'm also a dialysis patient, kidney dialysis patient. I have been so for since 2016 or so. So I do that as well as hold down a full-time job, which is an interesting challenge. If anybody has done dialysis or they are doing dialysis treatments, it's usually 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, where you're getting your blood recycled and fluids pulled off and all kinds of groovy things like that. So, but that's just me in a nutshell. That's who I am. Now, as far as a gamer goes, I've been playing mainstream games in some form or fashion since about roughly 1982 for the Atari 2600, playing games like Kaboom and Space Invaders and Asteroids and Pac-Man and so on. Then later went up to the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Sega Genesis, then kind of got out of the whole mainstreaming gaming community for a while. Roughly got back into it in 2017 with the Xbox series, and now I have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X sitting here on my desk, and trying to get back into the whole scene again, which is why one of the reasons I decided to do this tutorial series as a sort of novice or a beginner Excuse me. My goodness. I'm getting over a cold right now, so it's my voice is doing some strange things, and I don't have easy access to a mute button at the moment, so that's how it's going to have to be for a while, I think. But anyway, I wanted to provide sort of a tutorial series where I would be able to give people my take on, let's say, a fighting game like Mortal Kombat as a relative beginner. The learning curve can be a bit steep, and so I wanted to sort of provide my take on this as a beginner so that I wouldn't take a lot of things for granted. A lot of folks, they've been doing this for years, and they can take they kind of forget that they were once a beginner as well. So hopefully this series will be very basic in its presentation so that we can sort of lower the barrier of learning about this kind of type of game. All right, well, I think that's about it for me in this video about who I am. So I invite you to join me on this journey of accessibility and learning how to play these games, most specifically Mortal Kombat 1. And so when we return for the next series, we'll talk about, or the next video, we'll talk about what this series is going to hopefully entail and what I hope to accomplish in this series. So until then, this is Jeremy Hartley saying so long until we meet again.